Welcome back to the Barrel Talk Podcast. We are back with another episode. Today is the trade deadline. We've already seen a lot of news come out early this morning. By the time we're recording this is right after the Sauce Gardner trade that just happened and the Shaheed trade. So if we see anything mid-episode on any trades, we'll bring them up as when they happen. But it's been a minute, but we're back. Had to do an episode this week because of the trade deadline, so glad we are here. A lot of takeaways to get to over the past couple weeks. But we can kind of start out with the news that has been happening, and that's the trades that went down this morning, the kind of the bigger ones we can hop into. We can hop into the Jakobi Meyers one first, and kind of like what are your thoughts? It was a 4th and a 6th, and Jacksonville gets another reliable guy that can play in the slot for Trevor Lawrence.
I think it's big for Trevor Lawrence. I don't know how impactful it'll be for that offense just because I am losing a little bit of trust in Trevor Lawrence, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I think he needed to get out of there. His time was up in Las Vegas. So, But 4th and a 6th, I mean, it's whatever value, but you just had to get him out of there. What do you think?
I think it's good for the Jags. Raiders season's kind of looking like over with
It's
at
over.
the moment. So getting any capital for Myers who wanted out before the season, I think it's fine. But if you're the Jags, Trevor Lawrence operates really well out of the slot. Any guy that's in the slot, he's really put him on, and I think Myers in the slot's going to be just fine, especially with Travis Hunter going. Yeah, so this is a really good, kind of not even like replacement, but good guy to fill that room until we get Travis Hunter back on the field. And who knows, they could be in the works of moving Brian Thomas Jr. at some point. That's kind of been a weird rumor I've seen. I don't really see the appeal in trading somebody like him, but he's been in trade rumors for the past couple of weeks for some reason. I just don't get it. You have another young receiver. Like, now this roster fully healthy, you have Brian Thomas Jr., Jakobi Meyers, and Travis Hunter. And this can take pressure off Travis Hunter to not be the number 2 wide receiver. You can see more defensive snaps out of him. And then you have Travis Etienne, who's had a bounce back year. So I think they're in a good spot. And I like the move getting Jakobi Meyers because they're still in the mix to compete. Not really for that division because the Colts have been really, really good, but who knows what will happen. And we'll get to them in a second. But they're still in the mix with the playoffs.
Yeah, they better not trade away Brian Thomas Jr. That wouldn't make any sense. It'd be like exactly what the Steelers did. Like they traded away George Pickens. They traded for DK just to trade away George Pickens. Like it just doesn't make any sense. Like you're just bolstering up the wide receiver room for no reason. Getting Jakobi Meyers, like if I would be Jakobi Myers after that, I'd be like, bro, what am I even here for then? Like what was the point of that?
As much as I love Jakobi Myers, I don't think he's a 1 on a team that's trying to compete in the playoffs.
He's a great 2, not a good 1.
I think if you're looking at Hunter being your 3, I love that. I love him more as the 3 if you're going to split his snaps on defense. You can just use him when you want him to. When you want him to be in there on 3 wide receiver sets, like you don't have to use him all the time because whoever that third guy, I can't remember who their third wide receiver was. Washington just can't do anything. He was great this past weekend because he was in the slot. And that's where Trevor Lawrence eats. And I think that's kind of been the disconnect with Brian Thomas Jr. is because you have him out wide, and then you have somebody in the slot that's kind of just right in front of Trevor Lawrence, easy to get open. I think Jakobi Meyers being that guy, I think he's just better. He's just a better receiver. But now I'm looking at this Jags offense where I'm like, fuck, if Trevor Lawrence he hasn't had a better offense around him, in my opinion, with the talent and upside that they have. Yeah, they had Kirk and Ingram like years ago, but like now it's like Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter, and Jakobi Meyers is your receiving core.
Like that's good.
I like that. That's a good receiving core. Like I think they're in a good spot now. It's the pressure's just on Trevor Lawrence. Like the pressure is just on can he perform?
This is like when you know.
Yeah,
we will know by the end of the season. Can Trevor Lawrence be the guy? Will
Trevor Lawrence get to? I'm not saying comparing him to other quarterbacks, but kind of like how the league views them in a way of like Daniels, CJ Stroud, now Drake May, Herbert, like those guys of the world that aren't in that top 4 echelon of elite guys, but are in the mix of wherever you want to put them.
Like known franchise quarterbacks.
Can he get into that? Or is he going to get into the Kyler Murrays of the world? Like that kind of conversation. Is he going to get into that one after this year? Because Kyler's also in that situation where we'll kind of get to it, but Brissett's kind of taken his spot a little bit and the offense looks so much better. Can Trevor Lawrence produce with this? And it sucks because Brian Thomas Jr. ate all last year with Mac Jones when Trevor Lawrence was off the field. So I think they got some shit to work out for sure, but they're in a good position. I think I really like the move, especially because they're still just trying to be in the mix for the playoffs at the end of the day.
Agreed.
And then we can pivot to Sauce Gardner going to the Colts. for AD Mitchell and 2 first-round picks. What are our thoughts on the Sauce Gardner trade?
Great value for the Jets. Obviously, season isn't going how you thought it would. You're 1-6 or 1-7 or whatever. Get off, one of your best players. It sucks. It's a guy that you just extended, but turning down 2 first-round picks, I couldn't do that. 2 first-round picks, that's crazy. Especially with being the Colts, we don't know what they're going to be next year. I also like it from the Colts side. We see that we're winning games. Daniel Jones is doing it. We're going to take advantage of being here right now and, being able to win. Let's get another guy that can bolster our defense. And if you're going to get a guy, that's the guy to get.
Right. I think this is a move where they sat back, and I know they just lost this weekend, but they had a chance to come back in that game. Steelers did a great job. This is probably their best defensive performance of the year so far, but they're very Jonathan Taylor dependent. But I think they have a really good slept-on receiving core, for sure. If you can get Daniel Jones to throw in the ballpark of 25 to 35 times a game rather than upper getting into the 40s, I think you're going to be fine. Sauce definitely helps out your defense, especially when you're looking at the guys you're going to have to go up against in the playoffs. Eventually, Sauce Gardner is going to be able to match anybody else receiving-wise on the offensive side. But I think they looked at this as the Bills can be had. The Ravens, who knows what they're going to be. They have a tough game coming up this next week. Every game's good for them is going to be very important now. I think Denver can be had. I think Denver's good, but I don't think Denver's great. I think Denver's been super shaky. I think a lot of people just in the media alone has looked at Denver as this team, and I don't think they're the team that everybody thinks they are. Chargers, whole line injuries. The Chiefs can be had. The Chiefs have been super up and down all year, and I've already talked about Buffalo, and then the only other team is the Colts. And I think they're better than the Jags at this current point and how the teams are constructed. So looking at this picture in the AFC, it's open. It's very open. Do I genuinely believe that the Colts and Daniel Jones would go into Arrowhead or Buffalo and beat the Bills or the Chiefs at this moment in time? It would be a tough ask, but they're in play for the 1 seed. And I think that's a big time, thing for them. If they can secure the 1 seed, I think it'd be huge with what they're able to do. Home field.
All these teams are kind of fighting on each other. The Bills were the ones. No, the Colts have been the 1 seed for a while now. But before the Bills went on this little losing streak that they went on, they were the 1 seed. All these teams are kind of beating up on each other.
But I love this move, and kind of to tap into the Jet side because I haven't talked about their side of things. Rebuild. You're in a rebuild. You're getting you're getting 2 first-round picks and a younger receiver. I'm fine with it. You're kind of going into this new era. I would even consider selling off a little bit more. I think it's more of an off-season move because he is hurt right now, but Garrett Wilson.
You'd send Garrett away? I don't even know. I don't know because I don't know what you'd get for him.
Yeah.
It's you still have Justin for another year if they do decide, depending on how he plays the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like it's such a long rebuild. Maybe you're right. So maybe you do just send Garrett away because you're not going to be winning in the next few years anyway.
Especially if you can get a team that feels like they're a receiver 1 away and get a second. So now you've gotten 2 firsts and a second for Wilson and Sauce, and you already have your own pick.
Right.
I think that's a pretty good return and to kind of kickstart a rebuild. And with this kind of new regime with Aaron Glenn, I feel like you kind of have to not because they're great players, but kind of throw what you had away to kind of enter new, in a way, because all that baggage and the stuff that's happened over the past couple of years with those guys, they probably just want a new home anyways. They don't really want to go through the whole process of now we have another quarterback in the room. Now we got to figure out this and that. So maybe it is better to kind of just start fresh with a clean slate at the end of the day. And for the Colts, I like this. I think this is a win-win trade, honestly, for both sides.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because the Jets are getting off high cornerback money in Sauce Gardner and getting really good compensation for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then another smaller one that went down. Shaheed goes to the Seahawks. I'm already super, super high on the Seahawks. I love how they've looked all year. Now you add another deep threat. Now Cooper Kupp becomes your third, which at this point in his career, I think it's better for him. You have JSN. They just have playmakers all over the field. They have a dynamic run game, a really good defense that flies around, and now you're having JSN, who's, in my opinion, including Justin Jefferson, including Jamar Chase, including all the top receivers. I think he's been the best receiver in the NFL this year. outside of Puka Nacua, and I know Puka's missed some time, but like JSN is damn near guaranteed a $120 every game. And
it makes no sense.
Like, he is disgustingly good. Him and Darnold are connecting on everything. Sam Darnold was 16 for 16 in the first half against the Commanders.
Yeah.
Like they are absolutely balling. And now you add Shaheed to it, and they're a team that can and has the ability to push the ball downfield with Sam Darnold's arm. Like, fuck, they are like that division between the Niners, Rams, and Seahawks. Like, that's a
insane division.
That's
bro.
a tough division.
Insane division.
God forbid the Niners were healthy. Like, But I'm super high on the Seahawks. What are your takeaways from Shaheed to the Seahawks?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the same as yours. I think they're going to be a very dangerous team. I mean, obviously, I watched that game on Thursday or Sunday night. I mean, their offense looks insane already. So you add another deep threat. Troy Horton looks good. AJ Barner looks good. Those running backs, obviously, if you can just keep both of them healthy, is great. I'm still, going to be the guy to not trust Darnold until I see him in a huge moment, win a big game. But, I mean, you can't deny what they're doing right now. And that defense is young and hungry and great. So, I mean, they were getting after Jaden Daniels, too. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough fight in that division, but like they're guaranteed to make the playoffs for sure.
Yeah. I'm on the point of I am loving how this NFL season has turned out. I know we've had some terrible injuries, but the amount of parity that's going on this year, the Seahawks coming to life, like the Colts are like this team in the AFC that's kind of throwing a wrench into things, like the Ravens. Like, I just am loving the parity because I feel like the past 5 years it's been, well, in the AFC, it's who doesn't have to play two of the three teams of Ravens, Chiefs, and Bills. Like, who doesn't have to play those? Two of the three. Like, and then the NFC, it's kind of just been ran by the Niners and the Eagles the past couple of years. Like, Detroit's had their run, but like, other than that, it's just kind of been those two teams. But I feel like this year it's kind of like a little bit wide open. Like, I could realistically see the Seahawks and the Rams being able to beat Philly in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, me too.
And God forbid Tampa gets healthy, because then Tampa throws another whole wrench into things, because I'm super high on Tampa too. So I'm just loving how this season has kind of unfolded to the halfway point to the deadline today.
Yeah, same here. I'm excited to see if we get any more moves in these next few hours.
Like I said, we're recording at pretty much a couple hours left in the deadline, so if anything else happens, we'll try to touch on it. But we can get into kind of takeaways. Starting out with Thursday night, I can pivot to, can the Ravens make the playoffs? I'm going to say no.
Yeah, like they can?
I don't think they can. I just think when you have, one, I know Lamar's coming off injury, but when they were healthy at the start of the year, and I know they had some hard games, they still didn't look good. Like, they didn't look, I understand they're playing like Detroit, then they had KC. Like, I understand that, but they also didn't look good in that same rate. Because I remember when we had Cole on last time, like, he was saying the same thing about how they could, but I'm like, if they were looking stellar and then Lamar got hurt and then that's kind of when everything went bad, shit was going bad when Lamar was there, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And I think now when you're looking at, like, every game's going to feel like the Super Bowl for them. Like, every game matters. Like, they are legit probably 1 loss, 2 losses away from like being out of it. Like, yeah. Realistically.
I mean, you just put yourself in so much of a hole being 1-5. Like, it all came down to, like, there was a point in time when after the Steelers lost last week, like, it was just all they needed was 2 losses from the Steelers or whatever, like, and people thought it was just a given. Like, the Steelers are a good team, bro. Like, I know their defense has been shit, but like they're not just going out here to lose. Like, they still have Mike Tomlin, they still have Aaron Rodgers, bro. Like, and that defense is still the highest paid in the league. Like, I just don't see them going on such a run and Pittsburgh just completely blowing up. Like, we know how Lamar plays against the Steelers. They still have 2 matchups to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I still believe in Lamar. Like, that dude's a dog, but like, that defense, it just ain't what it has been in the past. And they just seem to like shoot themselves in the foot at the worst times. Derrick Henry don't even look the same.
Yeah, it's just, so I'm looking at where they are right now. Like, looking at their next couple games, you have Minnesota on the road. They just beat Detroit. They looked really good in that game. The defense looked really good. I think that's a big pivotal game for both teams, for sure. Then, so say that game's like, I think that's a coin flip game, honestly, with how both teams have played this year. Both teams have been super up and down. Oh, you're on the road. against a team that can really get after you and you're coming off of injury. I think it's going to be very interesting to see. Then you got the Cleveland at Cleveland. For some reason, like, they have wicked, like, interesting games against Cleveland, but I think they'll win that one. Then you'll beat the Jets, so that's 2 wins right there. Then you got Cincy. Apparently, Joe Burrow could be in play to be back for that game, but even if not, Joe Flacco's been elite offensively for them, and you have to play them. So you have a stretch where you play Cincy, Pittsburgh, Cincy, Patriots, Green Bay, and Pittsburgh again to end the year. All those are teams that can beat you.
Yeah, like I just don't see a world where they win all those games.
They have, I think, 1 loss to spare with how shit's shaken out in the AFC to get that last spot. They would need the Jags to, like, lose 4 straight or something like that. They would need that last team to just fall off earth for it to happen. But I think Steelers are going to comfortably win this division. So I think the Ravens are going to miss. I just really do. I just think this is kind of like a little bit of a season from hell with all the injuries they've had.
The Bengals will miss?
Yeah, I think both of them will miss.
I think both of them will miss. I don't even know what the Bengals' record is at this point, but yeah.
Because
there's told me that to start the season, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, no, I think they both missed, but that's just me. But you can kind of pivot to your next takeaway.
What is going on with Green Bay? Are they like a favorite or are they shit? What's going on here? They lose to the Panthers after being all high and mighty after that second half against the Steelers. Jordan Love did not look great. He threw like one of the worst passes I've seen this year. And now the Panthers are 5-4. Packers 5-2-1. Like, it's only your second loss, so like I guess I can't be too mad about it. But like in this division where it's always cutthroat, you guys are always beating up on each other. Every loss kind of does matter, and now you've lost to the Browns and the Panthers as your 2 losses, and basically lost against the Cowboys. Like, what do you think this team is at the end of the season?
I mean, this team is exactly what Jordan Love is as a quarterback. Inconsistent. Up and down.
Lose Tucker Kraft for the season.
And you lose your number 1. See, here's my argument. I think, and let me know if I'm being crazy, but I think the media and the value of players has fucked up a lot of what goes on in the NFL, because I think the Bills have the same problem. Is you can have this hodgepodge of fucking receivers where nobody is the clear one, but there's also going to be games where, none of them are the one, so none of them can create fucking separation. And your pass game struggles because of it. Now you had Tucker Kraft break out into the scene this year. He's gone for the rest of the year. So what does the passing game look like? I think Josh Jacobs has been fine. Has been great. He's been fine. Like, now you're losing your number 1 tight end,
right,
who's been your best weapon in the passing game.
Matthew Golden has not been what you thought he was going to be going into the season.
But he's a rookie, and you're a team ready to compete. Yeah.
Well, that's the first round pick that you've made on a wide receiver in a long time, and he ain't doing shit.
Mm-hmm.
What's his face came back from that ACL last year? Watson. He ain't doing shit. I mean, he made a few good plays in that first game. I don't know if he did anything this game, but
I just think they're an embodiment, and they have the identity of Jordan Love. Jordan Love can either be the best quarterback in the league, or you're having throws where it's just like, what the fuck are you doing?
What are you doing, bro?
Throwing the ball triple coverage downfield. I don't know how that Panthers cornerback didn't pick that ball and house that shit in the end zone. I don't know what, because there was nobody even around him. But here's my thing.
Overthought it.
Yeah, when I'm looking at the Packers, on paper they're supposed to be elite, but their 2 best guys, and Jordan Love and Micah Parsons, can be the most inconsistent players at times. We have seen Micah Parsons, and I know he's worth the money. I know he's a great player, one of the best in the league.
We've seen him completely disappear from games.
He has 0 playoff moments for the Cowboys. 0. When they played the Packers in the playoffs,
he did nothing.
He had nothing, and the defense got put 40 on, and Dak could only do so much. So when Micah Parsons can be inconsistent at times, and then you have Jordan Love, who I think is the most inconsistent quarterback in the league, this is what you're going to get. Inconsistent-ass performances. You're going to get high peaks with the Steelers in the second half, and then you're going to lose to the fucking Panthers. Like, respect to the Panthers. Panthers been hooping this year.
For sure.
But, like, with where the Packers think they are and where the media thinks the Packers are, they shouldn't be losing to the Panthers. But it's just, I just think they are just an inconsistent team. Like, when I'm looking at it, I'm still taking Detroit over them. I know they played earlier this year. Still taking Detroit. I'm taking Seattle at this point. I'm taking Philly. I'm taking the Rams for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then shit, at this point, I'm
Would you
taking
take the Niners?
No, Niners too
No.
hurt. Niners are too hurt. Niners are too hurt.
Too hurt. With Brock Purdy, do you take the Niners? That defense is really hurt.
That can kind of pivot me to my next point, but I don't think so. I think I'd still just take the Packers. Just because of the lack of consistent weapons out there outside of CMC. You got Kittle back though, but I'd still lean the Packers. But I can pivot into my next takeaway is nobody should ever doubt Kyle Shanahan again. Nobody should ever doubt him again. I know he hasn't got it done in the big moments. He is in the same conversation that they talk about with Andy Reid and McVay. Like, he's in that same conversation with what they've had injury-wise, and to still be 6-3 with all the injuries they fucking had. I mean,
makes no sense.
We should never doubt CMC again. I think CMC is by
CMC
far
was the Ben Simmons of the NFL.
Yeah, I don't know why they said that in the group chat.
What are we talking about?
I understand Jonathan Taylor's having an insane year, and Saquon Barkley's still an insane player. I think CMC is hands down, and it's not even close, the best back in football. I don't think it's even an argument with what he's able to do in the receiving game and on the ground. Like, I just don't. At 6-3, they're in a real shot to make the playoffs. Your quarterback that you just paid hasn't played basically all year. Nobody's been healthy on the defense. You lost Fred Warner and Bo, so like everything's hurt. But the scheme and CMC and Kittle and Kyle Shanahan are able to keep this shit going. I'm never doubting anything the Niners are doing again. Like, it seems like no matter the injuries and no matter what happens, if they have him and CMC healthy, shit's going. Be all right. Shit's going. Like,
yeah. No, CMC is he's just different, bro. Yeah, I don't understand how they do it. And I mean, at the beginning of the year, we said they have one of the easiest schedules in the league. I don't see why they can't make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never been too much of a Brock Purdy believer, but I do think he's better than Mac Jones, and especially in these big games. So, I mean, if you were to tell me right now that they won a playoff game, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
They're a sneaky upset team.
Mm-hmm.
But you can kind of get into your next takeaway and pivot away from Niners and kind of Packers.
I wanted to talk about the Chiefs and the Bills game. Kind of, I don't know, see what your thoughts are on that. Obviously, the Bills win. We had a great game from Dalton Kincaid. Chiefs looked a little bit shaky, but they looked really good since they got Rasheed back and that whole offense. This is the first game that they lose since they got that offense back. I still believe in the Chiefs. Like I said, since the beginning of the year, I mean, they were going through that hard stretch, and I still said, going to say they're going to make the playoffs if they have Patrick Mahomes. And I still think they will. They are not winning a division right now. The Chargers are at 6-3. I still would take the Chiefs to win the division.
Right.
Honestly, same thing with the Bills, bro. Like, they're one game behind the Patriots, one or two games behind the Patriots. I would still take the Bills to win that division as well. I just don't believe in the Patriots as much down the stretch. What do you think of these two former powerhouses?
I have no thoughts on Kansas City.
They just are what they are.
They are teams that they've just built the benefit of the doubt for me.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Until somebody in this fucking AFC goes into the playoffs and beats them, the legit only team that has been able to stop them from going to the Super Bowl has been the Bengals with Joe Burrow. And they're an afterthought now. So I hate to bring up this argument because I hate the regular season doesn't matter. But in this case, it fucking doesn't. Because the Bills have been putting belt to ass to the Chiefs in the regular season for years now. And it gets to the same shit in the playoffs every single year. I have more to say about the Bills side of things than the Chiefs because you have Mahomes healthy and this offense is going to continue to grow and continue to get better throughout the year. I like your take. They could possibly easily win the division because Joe Alt is now hurt again for the Chargers, so they could tail off. And then Broncos, I think our messy team as well, can kind of be up and down. So the Bills need a receiver. I know it's the trade deadline. They haven't made a move yet. The Bills have nobody on offense in the passing game that can create consistent separation.
I thought it was going to be Keon Coleman. He just can't do it consistently.
He can't do it consistently. I'm not saying you got to go pay top fucking dollar for somebody, but go get somebody that you can just give one-on-one looks to. I think this offense it's turned into more of a running game offense than a passing game, but there's just times where you can't fucking rely on Dawson Knox to make a crazy play or Kincaid to make a crazy. You need a receiver that can go get separation. And they don't have that. And I think that's going to be the thing that holds this team back once again. They don't have that guy in the receiving room that can get consistent separation because some of the games you get the Shakir game or some games you get a Keon Coleman game or a Kincaid game. But the offense, I think, can be a little inconsistent at times, kind of like Green Bay. You can have these hodgepodge of guys, but when it comes down to it, who's getting the separation? Who are you going to confidently saying they can make a play and get separation? Like, that's just kind of my takeaway with the Bills.
Yeah. Like a 3rd and 5, like I don't know, like who you going to? There's certain guys like the Lions. Like I know you going to Amon-Ra St. Brown on 3rd and 5. Like that's who it's going to. Like, or maybe not on that guy specifically, but like all these teams have a guy, and like on a 3rd and 5, bro, like Khalil Shakir getting it done in the playoffs. I don't know, maybe it's just like when you don't have that guy on the outside, they can just bracket you in, and like eventually that box is gonna get fucking full, bro. And James Cook can't do it all. I know he's God, but like he can't do it all.
It's just, I don't know. That's kind of just my talks about it, honestly. I don't really have anything else to add about the Chiefs because I think the Chiefs have earned the benefit of the doubt.
They're just going to be fine. I mean, honestly, I'm actually happy to see the Bills' defense actually just put up a fight because they've been, in weeks past just didn't look very good. I know they have a bunch of, just like everybody, they have a bunch of injuries, but they looked better this week.
Yeah. That was good because it kind of got one of my takes off as well with that. Next thing I can get into, we kind of already talked about the Colts, so I'm not going to kind of go into my takes. I think I already said they're a little bit Jonathan Taylor dependent. But if Daniel Jones can throw the ball at least 25, 35 times a game, nothing crazy numbers like that, I think they'll be fine. I can pivot to JJ McCarthy in the Vikings just to give them a little love because haven't had any reason to talk about them in the past couple of weeks realistically. But big time division win, and it's 2 wins as a starter. They're both in division on the road. I think that does say something. Looked way more under control and ready for the moment this time around than the Falcons won on primetime. And this kind of like had a primetime game feel to it just because it's in the division. I think the Vikings and Lions always put on good games. Like, he just looked good. He's exactly what I thought he would be in this game more consistently. Like, you don't ask him to do too much because you don't need him to do nothing crazy because of the team you have and the weapons you have. But I think a good comparison was they were in the same spot last year versus the Lions up in a game. Last year they lost because on a 3rd down play, Sam Darnold couldn't complete the pass on 3rd down to Justin Jefferson. And then Detroit ends up winning that game. Now, this year, you're in the same predicament, and you have JJ McCarthy able to make a great throw to Jalen Naylor, back shoulder, to end the game. And I just think, and we haven't seen Sam Darnold in the big moments yet now with the Seahawks. We saw how it ended last year in Minnesota, and I think a lot of that more so I'll face towards the O-line. I'd say like 70% on the O-line because he was getting killed. But looking at McCarthy, like, I think he's fine. I think he's going to continue to grow on this offense. I know the stats weren't eye-popping, but I think the timing and the throws where he had to make a play, I think all came at really, really good times in the game. And the defense hasn't been great all year. Defense showed the fuck out today. Showed the absolute fuck out. And I think they've kind of exposed a little bit of something with the Lions. And I think it's going to lead to David Montgomery playing a lot more because Jahmyr Gibbs, pretty much every time he came to the pass blocking situations, gave up a pressure or a sack. Any single time where Goff dropped back, Gibbs could not pick up the tackle and stop the blitz. Anytime that Goff dropped back and Gibbs was there to pass block, he got lit the fuck up by a linebacker. And Goff went down and got sacked or got pressured. So, looking at that, that's a big reason why they have Montgomery. I know everybody loves Jahmyr Gibbs. I know everybody loves what he can do offensively. David Montgomery's in that room too. And I think this is going to be a little bit of alarm going off in Detroit of we need to get Montgomery on the field more consistently to just protect Jared Goff. Because in the past years of me watching Vikings and Lions games, we have not been able to get consistent pressure on Jared Goff. Just because their O-line's good and he's really good at getting the ball out quick. But this is the first time where Flores has dialed it up perfectly to where Goff was getting pressure all the time throughout the game. So I think Gibbs not being able to really pass block in the games when he is in there, and you need to have him out there on your offense, but it's just like, man, Montgomery's just so much better in those situations. But the defense was really good. Our defense is not as good when Van Ginkel's not on the field. He's our best defensive player. When he's not on the field, just because he's perfect for Flores and dropping back into coverage and sending the blitz. Like, I think there's fine. I think this was like a season-defining game. Now they have the momentum to possibly turn the season around. They have big game at home against the Ravens next week, which I think is a very winnable game using that momentum coming into this week. So it's going to be interesting to see, but I think McCarthy looked good.
I think too. I think this was like such a big win for you guys.
This is
I
like a
think
confidence win, like a momentum changing season win.
if you guys like lose that game in like abrupt fashion, like I think it's over. Like the season's probably over. Like you're going in, man, like now the Ravens are like Lamar's back. The Ravens are good again. Like fucking probably lose that game. Like I don't know. Now you guys have a chance next week with more confidence, like you said. Like we're back in the division race. I know we're probably not going to win the division. Like that's a hell of a tough ask, but like at least just be in it again. Like you guys had like still had big, I don't know, thoughts going into the season, coming off 14-win season last year, like 15-win season. Like you guys are still a great roster. Still had a chance to do damage. So like this was much needed. There was so much talk of like, I mean, the whole season, and there's going to be no matter what, because Sam Darnold is doing good. Like there's always going to be that talk of like, we should have kept Darnold. We should have kept Darnold. Like everything that JJ McCarthy does, there's always going to be that. This at least calms it down a little bit, like solidifies it. Like this was a big win.
Because now you're 4-4, 2-0 against the division, mind you, and you're not out of the race whatsoever.
No,
with how this division beats up on each other, so anything can happen. Am I expecting them to turn it around completely and win the division? No, but I think you can put yourself in a position to
fighting for a playoff spot. Like it's still gonna be tough because again, like we were just talking about that NFC West, man. Like and you guys are still fighting with Chicago. Like, Chicago's 5-3 or whatever. Like I think it's gonna be tough, but like at least being in there, man. At least fighting for it in this tough ass NFC.
Putting JJ McCarthy in meaningful winning games, I think he's going to help his development more than anything else, rather than say we threw the season away and he was out there just playing meaningless games at the end of the year. Like fighting for a playoff spot and being in meaningful games, I think can do a lot for a quarterback's confidence. And you could see like this win kind of instilled the confidence back into this team, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I think that means more than anything at the moment, honestly.
Because, bro, there were times that Justin Jefferson looked just so sad with Carson Wentz in the lineup last week.
Yeah.
It just looked tough. Like, it's just tough from a player's point of view. Like, when you lose the season, like, what's the point?
Yeah. No, it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the season unfolds for the Vikings, but you can pivot into your next take.
Yeah. One, like, I feel like flying under the radar maybe a little bit is CJ Stroud is in concussion protocol. And the Texans have a big game this week. They play the Jags, which I know, it's not like it was before when the Jags were leading the division, and it wasn't like it was just those two. But, now the Colts are leading, but like still, like division games matter. Like even when it is 2 versus 3, like if you want a chance to make the playoffs anymore, like if they're 3-5, if you lose this one, you're 3-6, and you're like just like the Ravens, like you're probably out of it because you have a lower ceiling than the Ravens, I think, and I don't think Davis Mills is the guy to get it done.
I just think if they lose 2 more games, you need to realistically think back and sit there and think, should we sit CJ Stroud the rest of the year? Because it's going to do nothing but continue to hurt him behind that O-line. It seems like they've done everything in their fucking power to make the defense great, and their defense is great. I think they have a top 5 defense in the league. But they've done nothing, not a single fucking thing to help the offense, like whatsoever. And I think that's so crazy. They just said, well, CJ Stroud was good year 1. Let's just throw all the responsibility on him and we'll just have a good defense and we know he can make the plays, which I guess you can't have that mindset because I think CJ Stroud is that good of a quarterback at the end of the day. But that's a disservice to him when you could have used his rookie scale contract to help him at least a little bit. Like, I just think it's so frustrating to see him go through that kind of situation like that when the team had the resources and money, but they poured it all into the defense at the end of the day.
Yep. And it's been their calling card over the last year and a half. It feels like, you lose Tank Dell, lose Stephon Diggs last year. Now you lost Nico Collins early in the year. And now CJ Stroud's out. It's just unfortunate. I think their season's over.
That's a great point because I can pivot to the Commanders' take. I just think they need to get younger. I think the Commanders are just you have Jaden Daniels, who's your franchise guy, young and ascending, and you come into the season with the oldest roster in football and then wonder why you have the injuries you do. Like, no shit. It's the game of football. Older players are going to be prone to get injured more than younger players. But I just think they've had every avenue to like get some young guys that CJ can grow, that Jane Daniels can grow around. And I feel like they haven't done that. You bring in Deebo Samuel, who's past his prime. Like, all their weapons are ancient and old. You have Krosky Merritt is like your only young, promising guy. Like you had Austin Eckler in your backfield, Zach Ertz. Like, not saying these guys can't produce, but like this entire roster is legit. They're gonna have to reshape the entire roster because most of these guys are gonna be cooked in like a year or two. Like, so you're gonna have to retool this entire roster. Jane Daniels should not play the rest of the year. The season's fucking over. It's fucking over. He's gonna be out like probably. He's not. If I'm the ownership, he's not playing a game the rest of the year. I don't give a fuck what doctors and coaches say. You're not making the playoffs right now with how shit's stacking up. Take the year off, basically. Get a good draft pick and get fucking younger. That's my main takeaway for the Commanders because there was no reason for Jane Daniels to even be in the game at that point because they were getting complete belt. So I just think and easily looking on it in hindsight now, I'm not going to put the blame on Dan Quinn for not taking him out. Like, whatever. That's the game of football. You know the risk. But I just think this team needs to get younger. Like, they need to get to actually building around Jaden Daniels rather than trying to get these like old ass rosters to try to make another run. And I feel like that's what they try to do this year is get established guys to make a run. But even if they were fully healthy, like I don't think they're better than the Rams or Philly or Tampa. Seattle's better than them, clearly. Like, I don't know. That's just my take. And Terry's been hurt all year. Like, so Debo's really just being your one all year. So that's kind of my takeaway.
And Debo is not one potential, bro. Yeah. You can't do it no.
I just think the Commanders, this whole roster is going to need a shakeup this offseason. Yeah.
I hope this isn't true. I think we're like going down a road that Jaden Daniels is going to be like a worse version of Kyler Murray. Like a more talented, but like more injury prone than even like Kyler Murray.
Mm-hmm.
And we see Kyler Murray getting hurt every single year, bro.
Right.
I think this is going to be a thing, Jaden Daniels' whole career. He's too small. He's too small and he runs too much. He runs too much, bro. Like, you can run that much if you're Josh Allen. You can't run that much if you're Kyler Murray or Jaden Daniels, bro. He runs right into people. Like, he's doing, I saw him do a fucking somersault. Like, I don't think can do it. They obviously can't put the right guys around him. And Dan Quinn is obviously not the guy that's going to protect him from himself. I am going to blame him because I hear people saying all the time, like, oh, the players always just want to go out there. The coach's job is at some point to protect the players from themselves.
Right.
Like, same thing with like Tua. Like, you have to like not let this dude do certain things. And if he does, then he's just gonna these things are gonna happen, bro. Like Jaden Daniels, you're a small guy. Like, he has to either bulk up or like this is gonna happen. We've seen way too many injuries. We know what it is at this point. Like it's no longer a surprise, bro. These guys are big and tough, and they're only getting bigger and tougher and hitting harder. You can't be a fucking 6'5", 200 pounds and expect to just run 20 times a game and be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like he ran the ball so many times last night. I think we're going down a bad road.
Just of injury concerns and injury proneness going into the future.
I mean, he had like 5 different injuries on like 5 different parts of his body this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like knee, ankle, ribs. Now his fucking arm went backwards. Like he's cooked, bro.
Yeah, no, I like your take on it. I agree with kind of the route it's trending.
Hope it's not the case.
No, I think you're completely in the right there. I can kind of pivot. Kind of, we're talking about Sunday night. I think the Seahawks are. I'm gonna say I think they're contenders in the NFC. I think they're for sure contenders now. Now you're adding Shaheed to that offense. The defense is already good. We've already talked about them and how good Sam Darnold has been. I think he's been the best signing of the offseason from last year. Like, I think they're legit Super Bowl contenders.
It's really tough. Do. Like, do you think they're going to win the division, though? Because if they don't, that's going to be that 5 seed, the top, it's going to be tough for everybody in the NFC. Because who's going to be like the 4th seed? Like, the NFC North, maybe. I'm thinking I don't even know. Like the Packers are 5-2.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Eagles, I feel like are gonna have an easy schedule down the road. Same thing with the Tampa Bay Bucks. They should be able to win a ton of games, so it shouldn't be either of them. So like it's either gonna be those Rams, Seahawks, or Packers or Lions. Like,
so I have the Rams schedule right here. They have a really good 3-game stretch here of good teams. At San Fran next Sunday. They play the Seahawks. Then they play Tampa Sunday night. Those are their next 3. They still have to play Seattle twice, mind you. They have Detroit on their schedule. So who knows? I think if they split with Seahawks and Seahawks get one of those games, I think it could be interesting. But it's kind of going to be like last year how the North was, where it was going to be kind of hell for whoever. It came down to the last game of the season where Detroit and Minnesota, whoever got that 5 seed going to the LA was going to be kind of hell.
Yeah, I can see it being just like that this year.
Now,
with them.
who would be the 5 seed? That's kind of up for debate. Still so much season left.
Probably the other one of these 2 teams.
Yeah. So it could be a divisional battle.
It's not going to be, or that other team from the North, but It ain't going to be the Cowboys. It ain't going to be the Commanders. It ain't going to be a South team.
Mm-hmm. But
so
I'm
it has to be the other one of those.
I'm confident because to be the best, you got to beat the best. And I think the Seahawks team can beat anybody in the NFC. I think they have the makeup and the roster to do so. Now you're adding another deep threat. Sam Darnold's playing out of his mind. I think he's going to slowly enter into MVP talks at some point this year. Maybe down the line, if he continues to ball out like he has, 16 for 16 in the first half over here, absolutely balling. I think JSN's the best receiver in football this year. That's just my take and my opinion, including Jefferson, Puka, Chase. I think he's been the most consistent, best receiver in football this year. And I just think they're contenders. I really do believe in the Seahawks and the Rams. I think the Seahawks, Rams, and Bucks can all have a good case to go to the Super Bowl this
year. MVP is in the NFC West. He does not play for the Seattle Seahawks. Matthew Stafford is going to win MVP.
I agree, yeah.
Especially with that, if that schedule, unless they fall off the face of the earth, I think he's guaranteed. Unless he starts throwing a bunch of picks, but he plays okay, ends with he has 2 picks right now, ends with anything less than 5, bro. It's in the bag.
Who are you most confident in to beat Philly out of Rams, Tampa, Seahawks, Detroit, and Green Bay? Those are the 5 teams that are not with the Eagles, but those are the 5 teams that will be playing them. One of those teams will be playing them in the divisional, I assume.
Rams, Seahawks, Packers, Tampa. Tampa's just too hurt, man. At the beginning of the season, I feel like I would have put Tampa at 1, but I just don't see them getting fully healthy. I think it's going to be really tough down the stretch, but if they can, maybe. But I'd go Rams, Seahawks, Packers in that order.
I would go Detroit.
Oh, fuck, I didn't even think of Detroit.
I'd go Detroit, Rams, Seahawks, Tampa, Packers.
It's weird. I think the Eagles might be the best team right now, but I don't think they're going to do it. I just think every team is kind of just building to beat them or something.
They have some teams on their heels right now.
Yeah. I don't know. It just feels weird. It feels like there's so many good NFC teams that can do it.
I think the past 2 years, the Rams have had the Eagles number.
Was it that snow game?
Yeah. I think the past 2 years, the Rams have had their number a little bit. But I think the NFC is going to be so insane playoff time.
Healthy.
Yeah. You keep Puka healthy, I think you're going to be fine. I think Detroit has the best shot just because of their ability to run the football.
Right.
And the Eagles haven't been great, and that's kind of why they traded for Phillips, is they haven't been great in the sack department. They don't really have a whole lot of sacks on the year.
Right.
But the Rams defense is so good. Yeah.
That Seahawks defense can stop the run, bro. I don't know. There's a lot of them.
A combination in the divisional of any of those 5 teams playing each other is going to be cinema.
Cinema, bro. I hope.
Yeah.
I just hope the NFC kind of just stays healthy at the top.
Yeah.
And we can see a bunch of really good matchups come playoff time.
Because the one thing that was tough about last year was when the Lions defense was decimated
just
and
destroyed.
Yeah. And they couldn't stop Washington.
Yeah.
But that's all I have for the Sunday slate. You can kind of talk about Monday night, the Cowboys.
Yeah. Did want to talk about the Cowboys a little bit. At this point, is there even a point of talking to the Cowboys? We suck. This defense is just terrible. We did just trade for Logan Wilson from the Bengals. He's not doing shit, bro. He ain't fixing this.
2 worst defense in the league's trading players.
Think shit. Do we even want them, man? I don't know, man. It just sucks. It's obviously impacting the whole team at this point. It's you can't mess up on offense, because once you mess up on offense, that's
You're
another
behind.
7 points in their pocket, in the other team's pocket. I don't know. It just sucks. You can't. It is malpractice what we did in the offseason on defense. And I think we have 2 of the worst signings in the past 10 years in the defensive backfield playing at the exact same time. Well, actually, Trayvon Diggs isn't playing right now, but
him and Bland
are pretty terrible. They're pretty awful. And
Yeah.
we decided to sign both of them to long-term contracts, a large amount of money. And as much as Micah's not doing too much on the Packers right now, he,
His impact would have been there.
yeah, like he would. I mean, obviously, just you guys decided to sign the two worst guys and not sign the best one out of the three, but whatever. I think we're going towards a lost season. I think we'll win a few more games out of nowhere because this offense will put up 40, but like the playoffs are way out of the question.
I can kind of pivot because I agree with everything you just said. Is Kyler Murray's job in jeopardy?
It is, I guess. I mean, I didn't think it would be this quick, but
the offense looks so much better, and Marvin Harrison's actually eating.
Cowboys, man, it's the Cowboys.
I know, but like this is like
we breed backup quarterbacks back into life, bro. People thought Russ was going to start the whole year after having 350 on us.
But I will say, dating to past couple weeks, the Cardinals' offense has looked better. With Brissett compared to Kyler Murray. Marvin Harrison looks
Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, so I don't think his job's in jeopardy, but I think they're going to go into this offseason and really evaluate this team and how good the offense looked when Kyler Murray wasn't at the helm. So I'm not going to say his job's in jeopardy, but I think they're going to go into this offseason with a little bit more information on what they want to do, I guess.
You think?
And the kind of quarterback they need for this offense, realistically.
It's just going to be like weird because I hate when teams do like this like little middle ground. Where, like what they're going to do is you're probably right. They're going to play Jacoby the rest of the year. He's going to play great. Or, he's going to play fine, good enough to like win them a few games, maybe get them around 500. And like, they're going to be like, oh, maybe we should sign Jacoby Brissett for the rest of the year, or for another year. But they won't.
No.
And then they'll go back into Kyler Murray for next year, and it'll be the same thing again, and this team will just be the same. And Jacoby Brissett will get a contract somewhere else. I'm just sick of teams playing the little middle ground. Like you got to make a decision at some.
Mm-hmm. Oh, trust the Vikings were doing that for a while. Now I'm just hoping JJ's the guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right though. It's just you can't fully move on from him. I don't think
he has an untradeable contract.
Yeah, so like you can't. You got to keep him.
Mm-hmm.
Like at this point, like, what can you do though? Like Kyler's obviously not going to change. Like he is who he is. So it's not like you're going to sit back and be like, "Hey, dude, like watch what Jacoby's doing and do this." Like that's not who he is as a player.
This is not how. Yeah, no.
It's just like you're in a weird middle ground.
Yeah, it's just I don't want to give up on Kyler, but just the play style I feel like doesn't fit what this offense needs.
It doesn't fit with the NFL.
Yeah, because he's going out of shotgun every snap because he can't play under center. That's the main thing.
It doesn't fit, yeah.
But I just looked, and we haven't really had any more trades, so we can kind of get into just power rankings and kind of wrap up this episode.
Well, Bears did trade for a D-end. Like we were talking about the Bears trading for a pass rusher. They did. It's just like a terrible one that I've never heard of.
Okay.
Some guy from the Browns.
Always getting Bears fans' hopes up with a big move, and it doesn't happen. But we can wrap this episode up with our power rankings going into this next week of the NFL season. At number 1, we have the LA Rams. At 2, we have the Philadelphia Eagles. At 3, we have the Buffalo Bills. At 4, we have the Seattle Seahawks. At 5, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 6, the Detroit Lions. 7, the Patriots. 8, the Steelers. 9, Kansas City. And 10, the Denver Broncos in our updated power rankings going into next week. Anything else you want to add, Nick? Well, that is all we have for you guys in this episode. We will be back next week, kind of recapping the trade deadline, any moves that we didn't talk about in this episode. If any moves do happen before deadline hits today, we will be back next week. But thank you guys for tuning into the Barrel Talk podcast. Hope you tune in to future episodes.